Yeah, she like exists.
Find a tub?
Substance use disorder. Welcome to the FAN Macomb Monthly Forum, our local meeting where individuals and families come together to educate and support each other while learning about substance use disorder, recovery, and related issues through guest speakers and community resources. Families Against Narcotics continues to expand our reach across Michigan. What started as a single support group meeting in the basement of a church in Fraser has now grown to more than 20 chapters statewide. FAN offers numerous support services for people who are struggling with or are affected by addiction, and all of them are provided completely free of charge. These include Hope Not Handcuffs, which in collaboration with law enforcement and the assistance of volunteer angels has helped thousands get the compassionate support and help they need and deserve. The Come Back Quick Response Team Initiative, which visits people who have survived an overdose and brings help and support directly to their doorstep. And Stronger Together, a friends and family support program that can transform a life of despair to a life of hope and purpose. Our coaching programs, which include peer and family coaches and our online coaching corner sessions, help people affected by addiction navigate their way through recovery. Meanwhile, we continue to educate the public through Naloxone training, which provides free Naloxone kits to individuals and groups and teaches them the proper way to administer this life-saving medication that can reverse an opioid overdose. Stigma education teaches people that words do matter and that substance use disorder is a brain disease, not a moral failing. And our school outreach initiative raises awareness among students and educates them by sharing real-life stories of addiction and recovery. We're glad that you're here with us tonight. Please know that you are not alone. We care about you and believe that compassion is greater than stigma. We have peer and family recovery coaches in attendance, so if you need to talk with someone, please seek them out. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask a FAN staff member. We are here to support and help you.
Hi guys, thank you for being here tonight. My name is Arielle Levitt. I'm the program coordinator for the Harmless program with Families Against Narcotics. Welcome to our monthly Macomb Fan Forum. And one thing I want to let you guys know, there's resources in the back. So you'll find books and you're welcome to check out any of those books and then please bring them back when you're finished with them. We try to remind people that they can get support and resources in more than one way at FAN, as well as volunteer. So if you're willing to volunteer, please let Marie in the back know, and she'll hook you up with a way to volunteer here at FAN. A lot of really great opportunities. So this is where you can talk about the relationship between law enforcement and the people who have substance use disorder, which is our topic tonight. You're going to hear from 3 police officers from 3 police departments that are involved with our QRT program. A little bit of background on our other programs. We have Hope Not Handcuffs, so if you know anyone looking for assistance, seeking recovery, we encourage you to use our Hope Not Handcuffs program, either by visiting a local police department or calling the Hope line, which is 833-202-HOPE. And if anyone has any questions on that, I would say reach out to Amanda, but she's not here. You can also reach out to Chelsea, and she can get you more information on that. We have our Stronger Together program, which meets every other Wednesday at the FAN office in Clinton Township. The next meeting is tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. And that's going to be at our FAN location in Clinton Township, right on the corner of Groesbeck and 15 Mile Road. And then there's meetings in other areas throughout the month virtually, and they can be found at familiesagainstnarcotics.org/stronger-together. We also have family recovery coaches. If there are any family recovery coaches here, will you raise your hand, please? 1, 2, 3. Okay, so they are available for families to provide support and guidance along your journey if you have a loved one struggling with addiction. And then we also have several peer recovery coaches. If you're a peer recovery coach, will you please raise your hand? And if you or anybody that you know is looking for a peer recovery coach, please reach out to one of these people at the end of the forum, and we can get you linked with a peer recovery coach. We also have Naloxone, Narcan. We think it's very important that everybody carries Narcan, and if anybody needs Narcan, you can find Marissa or really any of the staff members at FAN, and we can get you free Narcan at any time. And then we also have sober living scholarships for people that are coming out of treatment facilities looking for housing. So we're here to help. We know this process isn't easy. Feel free to reach out to any of us here at FAN tonight to get connected to resources. Now, is this anybody's first time here at a FAN Forum? If it is, please raise your hand. Okay, so keep your hands raised, please, actually, because we're gonna come around and pass out a little goodie bag for you. So keep your hand raised until you get one of those. And then we're happy to see these new faces today, and we hope that you continue to come and support FAN. And at every FAN Forum, so we do, this is kind of a lot of people's favorite part, we do like an introduction, just kind of sharing what brings you here tonight and like why this topic is important to you. So I'm gonna actually have Chelsea pass the mic around, so if you just wanna say your name and then like what brings you here tonight, basically how addiction has touched your life or why you're here.
Hey guys, I'm Chelsea. I am a support coordinator for Harmless. I'm also a support coordinator for Hope Not Handcuffs. And one of the reasons that this topic is important to me is I just love seeing how a community can come together to change somebody's life and support them in such like a sensitive time. So I'm just here to learn more. Brett?
My name is Brett. I'm a person in long-term recovery who also works at FAN. And I'm here to learn from our community and help educate.
Hi, I'm Jeff Filzek. I'm a sergeant with Madison Heights Police Department. I'm a coordinator for our QRT, Quick Response Team. And I won't go on and on, but FAN has been the best thing that's ever happened to me in my law enforcement career.
I'm Corey Deans, the Chief of Police for the City of Madison Heights. And as Sergeant Filzek said, I mean, this has been amazing, and I'm so glad that we were able to jump on board with this plan so quickly and get help for the community that they deserve and need.
Hi, my name is Erica. I'm a person in long-term recovery, and I'm here because I want to see how law enforcement helps the people in our community who are suffering from substance abuse.
My name is Anthony, and I'm 2 months in recovery, and help from FAN, and I just like to support those that's been very supportive of me, and I'm just willing to learn as much as possible from this experience.
I'm Bonnie. I'm a recovering addict. Hey, I'm Sean. I'm a recovering addict. I'm just here to support Harmless and FAN for giving me a peer recovery coach to help save my life.
Hi, I'm Scott. I'm a peer recovery coach with Navigate, our peer recovery coaching program. And what I like about what we're going to talk tonight is breaking down the stigma throughout all levels of society. Come together and try to solve this problem. Actually start solving this problem. Thank you.
I'm Chris, a person in long-term recovery. I'm a peer recovery coach as well, and I'm just here to, relatively new, so I'm just here to learn more about the organization and the programs.
My name is Remy. I'm in recovery.
I'm Dee, and I'm in recovery.
I'm Kelly. I'm in recovery, and I'm here to support everyone. Hi, I'm Carmen and I'm in recovery.
Hi, I'm Amber. I'm a person in recovery.
I'm Doug. I'm a person in recovery also.
My name is Kim. I'm in long-term recovery. I'm a recovery coach and I'm a wellness advocate. I also have a son that is in long-term recovery, and I'm here for my niece who lost her son a little over a year ago.
My name is Penny. I'm here to support my daughter and her friend, and also my niece actually. And I'm also here to find out lots more about the fan stuff that goes on.
Hi, my name is Lana, and I'm here because I lost my son from an overdose a year and a half ago, and I'm here to find out more about things.
Hi, my name is Sue, and I am in long-term recovery, and I'm here to learn more. Thank you.
I'm Tim. I'm in recovery. I also work in recovery. Brett invited me just learn more about everything that's going on and give back, because Fan gave me a recovery coach also that saved my life.
My name is Anthony. I'm a person in recovery. I also work at a treatment center in Southfield, and I will soon be working for FAN, Hope Not Handcuffs.
Hi, my name is Marvina. I am a person in long-term recovery. I am also the FAN recovery coach supervisor, and I'm here to get more information about the QRT team. And I'm just supportive of FAN. I love it.
I am Jennifer. I'm an alcoholic in long-term recovery.
Hi, my name is Amy Bruni. I'm in long-term recovery. I'm a drug court graduate. Now I'm a peer recovery coach for the 41B treatment courts, and I'm the onboarding and support coordinator for the Navigate coaching program at FAN.
I'm Hannah. I'm a recovering addict.
Hi, I'm Hannah. I'm also in recovery. I'm here to support the community at FAN.
Hi, I'm Julie. I'm grateful to be an assistant coordinator for FAN's quick response teams, and as a person in long-term recovery, this is a topic that means a whole lot to me.
My name is Roger, and I am a recovering addict, and I am here at the request of my peer recovery coach, Don Chenard, to share my experience with ODing and then being contacted by the quick response team the following day.
Don Chenard, person in long-term recovery, peer recovery coach, peer recovery mentor, proud member of the QRT team, and I'm just addicted to Hope Not Handcuffs.
He's one of our loudest peer recovery coaches.
My name is Jordan Rick. I'm from Madison Heights Police Department, part of the quick response team. It's been one of the high points of my career, and I'm here to talk to you guys today.
Eric Malarski, my son is an addict who's struggling with recovery, and just want to learn more about the QRT, Hope Not Handcuffs, and just show support and however I can.
I'm Elizabeth. I'm here because my son is struggling with recovery.
My name is Erin. I have had multiple family members struggle with addiction on and off through my life. They're all at various points in our various stages of recovery. I'm also honored to work as the program director for the Comeback Quick Response Team.
I'm Tyler. I'm an addict. Recovered. Aaron.
My name's Dawn. I have a 31-year-old still struggling with alcohol. I'm a family coach, and I go out with QRT still nights team.
My name is Nancy. I have a son about 18 months, 19 months into recovery, and I'm just here to learn more.
Hello, my name is Rita, and I'm here to learn more about the programs offered by FAN.
I have a 36-year-old son who has reached 2 years into his recovery.
Hi, my name is Florence. Unfortunately, I lost my son 4 years ago. He was 23 to an overdose. And I have a daughter struggling with addiction at this time also.
Hi, my name is Dave. I work with the Roseville Police Department. I'm our QRT coordinator, and I go out with the team every week. Just here to share some of my experiences and real positive things. So happy to talk about it. I'm Kevin. I work with the Sterling Heights Police Department for the quick response team. So I look forward to talking to you guys. Tell you a little more of my story later.
Hi, my name is Sue, and I'm here to support both my kids who are in recovery using medically assisted treatment.
Nice.
And I am Sue to be a recovery coach.
All right.
Robert, I'm a peer recovery coach at Navigate. I'm here to support Hope.
My name is Pam, and I've been involved with FAN since 2017 after losing my son to an overdose. He was 23. Currently, I work as a family recovery coach, and I'm Arvina's assistant for the family coaching program. And I go out with the Southfield and Farmington Hills quick response teams, and it's a pleasure.
My name is Crystal, and I'm a woman in long-term recovery. In 2020, FAN gave me my first scholarship when I had nothing to live in a three-quarter house. I now work in substance abuse as a substance abuse counselor and doing my MSW for social work.
I'm Sean, I'm a recovering addict, and I'm here to support FAN.
I'm Tarina, I'm in recovery.
My name is Dee Dee. I'm a peer recovery coach with Families Against Narcotics. I'm here today to support not only everyone in the room, but especially the officers who go out there and willingly do what not a lot of us are able to do on the quick response team.
Hi, I'm Emma. I'm in recovery, and I work for FAN in the Redirect program. And I'm here because I'm always interested in learning more about law enforcement and its relationship with substance use and its response to substance use.
Hi, my name is Kelly Jo Danzy. I'm a person in long-term recovery. I'm a peer recovery coach with Families Against Narcotics, and I just became part of the quick response team for the launching in Centerline. And I'm here to support FAN and learn more.
I'm Cass, I'm in recovery.
Hello everyone, my name is David. I'm an addict and I'm in recovery.
I'm Lisa in recovery, here to learn more about FAN.
I'm Linda Davis. I'm the Executive Director of Families Against Narcotics. I'm a retired judge, and I have a daughter in long-term recovery.
Hi everyone, my name is Dania Barish. I'm the Director of Operations at FAN. I'm the daughter of a person that struggled with substance use pretty much all throughout my childhood, and my uncle still struggles today. So.
My name is Terry. I lost my son to an overdose 5 years ago. I am a family recovery coach, and I work with a couple of the QRT teams. And I also run the grief support group.
I am Donna, and I'm here to support my son, who I think is in recovery.
Hi, I'm Jim. I'm here to support my son Dan, and also acknowledge Rodney for all the good that he's done for the organization.
For our son as well, and to support Rodney.
Hello, my
My name is Marissa Guardia. I'm the Community Education Coordinator at FAN. I just really love the community that we have built here in Macomb. And I look forward to talking to you all outside if you want to grab some Narcan on your way out.
Hi, I'm Maddie Tortomasi, and I'm the case manager for the Redirect program. My brother struggles with substance use, and this topic is important to me, and I get to work with QRT team starting in January to get my master's, so I'm really excited to hear from the officers.
Hi, I'm Kate, and I'm here to learn more about the efforts that the law enforcement teams are taking to help this community.
Hi, I'm Dean Dauphiny. I'm the communications manager for Families Against Narcotics. I have a son who has struggled with addiction off and on for the last 15 years, currently in recovery. I also lost a nephew to an overdose 4 years ago. I just want to say I'm blown away by the kindness and the passion of these police officers that are here tonight, and I appreciate everything they do to help those who are struggling with addiction.
Hi, my name is Marie, and I have a husband and son in recovery, and I appreciate that the officers take the time and have the passion to help those in our community who are struggling.
Rodney Wolford, I'm a peer recovery coach for Families Against Narcotics.
I'm Kevin, I'm here to learn about the program.
And I'm Rick McGuffey. I'm a full-time peer recovery coach with FAN, who is gracious enough to allow me to work with 25th District Court as well. And I am a member of the quick response team of 4 different departments.
Thank you guys for sharing. I feel like that's a really good way for us to kind of get to know each other. And I really urge you to reach out to any of the FAN employees because we have amazing resources here. And even though it can be scary, there's no shame in substance use. And if you're hesitant to talk to somebody, I know Marie's really friendly back there and she can get you hooked up with any one of us necessary. And I just wanted to share, again, I'm Ariel. I'm a woman in long-term recovery, and obviously we've all been seeing the media, and I know that the police have not had the best reputation lately, and that's why I think this topic is really important because it shows that these officers are taking time, volunteering their time to help people that have substance use disorder. And I know for me, I had to get arrested, and that's how I got sober. I was arrested for my second DUI, and then I went through the Roseville sobriety court. And had that not happened, I really don't believe that I would be here today. I don't believe that I would have found recovery any other way. And since that happened, I have reached out and made an amends to that police officer who arrested me and let him know that him doing that has essentially saved my life. So I think this is a really important topic to kind of bridge the gap and show people that we do have a good relationship with police officers and they're doing the best that they can out there. So please help me welcome up. First, we're going to do Officer Jordan Rick from Madison Heights.
First off, I want to say thank you for inviting me and allowing me to speak for a few minutes. I'm not a big fan of public speaking, so if you hear a or a just don't mind it. Thank you for my family for being here, and for some of my colleagues, my chief of police and my sergeant on my ship, Jeff Hilton. My name is Jordan Rick. I work for the Madison Heights Police Department. I've been here for 10 years, and I'm currently assigned to Road Patrol. Over the course of my 10 years, I've served in patrol and investigations. I was assigned to our Special Investigations Unit for 5 years, which focused on narcotics and food trafficking. Working in an undercover capacity for these years allowed me to see this disease firsthand. So using my experience I gained from being undercover helped me understand more about the symptoms. For those of you who don't know, several years ago, I was working on patrol. It was July 11, 2017. While I'm working patrol, I was arresting somebody. For those who don't know, we scan our prep radios, which allows us to hear other departments. As I was scanning my prep radio, I heard a call from Royal PD of a male slumped over the wheel about a quarter of a mile away from where I was at. Unfortunately, this is a call we frequently hear several times a day. I continued to make my arrest. A short time later, I received a phone call from my mom. I answered the phone, but it wasn't my mother on the other line. It was a police officer. The police officer told me that he had some bad news and that my older brother Eric had passed away. The police officer informed me that he had overdosed in Royal Oak while he was driving and they were unable to revive him. Then it hit me, the caller over the radio was involving my brother. My brother passed away on July 11, 2017. My brother was a smart man, a lot smarter than I am. He had 2 master's degrees involving engineering and business administration. My brother was a good man, a great son, a great brother, and a great father. I knew my brother was fighting this disease, but that I thought he had beaten it. My brother had an addiction to opiates, which turned into an addiction to heroin. This horrible disease can affect anyone and everyone, whether it's directly yourself or a family member. I've made it one of my law enforcement goals to provide any kind of support I can involving this disease. A few years ago, Madison Heights implemented the Quick Response Team. This team was headed by Sergeant Jeff Vilzek. When I heard about this program, I immediately wanted to be a part of it. The officers of the Madison Heights Police Department jumped to be a part of this program. I was one of them. One of the things I'm most proud of in my career is my involvement in the Quick Response Team unit. I believe us as a law enforcement community are beginning to understand this disease and the need to be compassionate and provide support instead of throwing someone just in jail. I can speak for myself as well as the other members of the Madison Heights Police Department when I say we are proud to be a part of that change. We are proud to provide support to those affected by this disease, and we will continue to provide support. I leave you with this story. Last month, I experienced one of the proudest moments of my law enforcement career. It was a Sunday, it was 10 p.m., I was about an hour to leave before I got off my shift. I was sitting in the parking lot of one of our 7-Elevens. I saw a gentleman get out of his car and walk towards the entrance of the 7-Eleven. He was with 3 young daughters. He was looking at me and started to come over to my patrol car. In my head, I'm thinking, what did I do? How's this guy know me? Did I write him a ticket? What's going on? And he's looking at me like I owe him something. I didn't recognize the guy, thinking I probably wrote him a ticket or something to tell him, sorry, I don't remember you, brother. But he goes, Officer Rick, you changed my life. He goes on to tell me about 9 years ago, I arrested him at our Home Depot for shoplifting. He says that he had a horrible drug habit at the time and he was in and out of jail. He said, while I was arresting him, I told him that I cared about him, that I wanted to see him do well with some words of encouragement. He told me that he got out of jail and went to rehab for the millionth time, but this time it was different. He said the whole time that he was in there, he thought about that moment and used it for motivation. How can an officer care about me so much? That's what he was telling me. So I know it goes without saying, but for you, if you yourself are struggling or know somebody who's struggling, simple words of encouragement and being there for someone goes a long way. Us as law enforcement, we're beginning to turn the page and we're beginning to understand this disease and we're here for support. Compassion goes a long way, and just a few nice words can go a long way. And anyone yourself that's fighting this disease and struggling, we're here for you. We support you. So I just want you guys to know that. And it's one of the proudest things I've done in my career to be a part of this unit. And I'll continue to be a part of this unit until I retire, which is a long ways away. So if you ever see me on the road and you need some help, come talk to me. I'll give you some support, I'll give you some kind words. And you're a brother or sister to me. And this disease affects everyone, so you're never alone. We're always there for you as a law enforcement community. We'll continue to be there for you guys. If it affects you directly or a family member, just come talk to us. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Officer Rick from Madison Heights. think it's really powerful, and I can speak for everyone when you shared that story that we all got goosebumps, and it just lets people know that, you know, this disease can touch anybody. And I'm really glad that you shared that story with us. Can we have Officer Dave Lucas Savage from Roseville come up?
Jeez, I gotta follow that. Thanks. My name is Dave Lucas Savage. I work for the Roseville Police Department. I'll tell you a little about my experiences with addiction. My dad's an alcoholic. I have a hard time talking about it. He's a closet alcoholic, and in my family, no one talks about it. Anyways, everyone acts like nothing's wrong. It's just a big elephant in the room. And it's been my whole life. A quick story, kind of add a little humor. My wife's dad passed in March 2020, just before COVID. And the viewing started at 3 o'clock in the afternoon on Thursday. There was really no one there. My parents really didn't know my wife's family. Probably 10, 12 people there. My parents walk in. Supposed to be funny. My parents walk in and my daddy's drunk. It's embarrassing. B-red, which I probably am right now too. Reek like alcohol. Later I see my dad, he's leaning to my wife's shoulder crying. I'm like, oh geez, embarrassing. They stay about 20 minutes and my mom's like, yeah, your father wants to leave, of course, because he can't stay anymore. Later on in the night, my wife says to me, she goes, some person came up to me and says, wow, your husband's dad must have really known your dad really well. And my wife goes, you never met him? So the point is, addiction, alcohol, it's always been a negative in my life. A little about me, I've been a cop for over 21 years. I've done a lot, I've seen a lot. Being a police officer, you come across a lot of negative experiences. You don't experience a whole lot of positive. Not Doug and Roseville, but a lot of negative. You do mostly deal with problems that you have to solve within a matter of minutes, and they gotta be the right decisions. If you don't make the right decisions, it could come back on you, so a lot of pressure. How did I come to do QRT? You probably don't know by looking at me. I have 2 fake hips. It's hereditary, it came from my mom's side, I blame her. But while I was recovering, I was on light duty, and then when I went to full duty, I kept hearing about QRT, and reception-wise amongst our department, sounds like Madison Heights has a great participation, but we had someone who did it, and then they kind of phased out of it, and then another person did it, and he phased out of it, he retired, and there was a lot of pushback to go out with the QRT team. So I said, well, I don't see any issue with it, so I took it over. I didn't know anything about it, they said, just, you go out, you respond to overdoses, and that's it. So the first time I did it, I looked up overdoses and we had 2 or 3. And Don and Terry are my coaches, they're awesome, true professionals. And then as I started doing it, I'm like, why are we just responding for narcotic overdoses? Why don't we do alcoholism, all addictions? You know, I do my searches and I start with overdoses. A lot of times we don't have any, and that's a good thing. And then I'll do detoxes, because we detox a lot of people. And I'll do alcohol, I do intoxicated, and I try to pick up key words from these reports. I read through them, I spend hours reading reports, trying to pick up key words. Where are the problems? You know, why are these family troubles? Why do we keep going to these family troubles? We're going there because a lot of times addiction is substance use disorder is the problem. You know, the family fight, the wife's mad at the husband because he's drunk all the time. So, let's see, where am I? So it's a good thing, but an example of me picking out key words, I was reading a report, it was a 60-year-old brother and a 45-year-old brother, and they both lived together. And in reading the report, you can see that it says, so-and-so, the younger brother, intoxicated again. Clue. We respond there. And then I just go on hunches, you know? And I know Don's a great peer coach. Terry's an excellent family recovery coach. We go there, the older brother answers the door. He's like, yes, so-and-so's here. And the brother comes out, he's 45 years old, and he's got the shakes, and he's just weak and beaten. He comes out and just looked desperate. And maybe he didn't have the resources or know how to seek resources. And he broke down crying. He's like, I want help, I need help. That's positive for me. You know, no more negatives with addiction. It's positive. I feel good. I feel good that I looked up the report, I took my coaches there, and we succeeded. So that's a success story. Another success story, which I know Don, we were kind of like doing Narcan drops around the hotels. Roseville has a lot of hotels, and we go to the Baymont. We talk to this young clerk. Don explains Narcan to her. She's never heard of it, has no idea what it even is. Okay, explains how to administer it, all that stuff. A week later, we responded to the same hotel, the Baymont, 13 Little Mac, and lo and behold, we went there for 2 overdoses. The same girl we talked to saved someone's life using it. One week, had no idea what it was. She used it the next week. If I knew better, I don't know. It's above me. Another gentleman, we have a lot of hotels. Victory Inn. He was getting detoxed. So we show up, knock on his door. He's a veteran, probably in his late 50s, early 60s. And knocking on the door, we're knocking. I'm thinking he's not going to answer. Next thing you know, the door cracks open. And I look in there, and he's standing there holding the door handle, just holding himself up, you know? Get in there, and he's like catatonic, like he just is out of it. We done laid in the bed. There's empty pop-off bottles everywhere. We end up detoxing him, right? He had all his personal belongings in there, and I know they're gonna hotels probably just gonna throw all this stuff away. So I take it upon myself, which I think anyone would do, gather all his belongings up and put it in his car was out in the parking lot, his keys were on the bed, gather all his belongings, put it in the trunk, leave a note, hey, your keys are at the Roseville Police Department. And then I'm a property officer too. So I was hoping he'd come in when I was working. I found he came in, I missed him by like 5 minutes. So I went out in my car, and I drove, I knew he was walking, I knew he had to walk back to Victory Inn, which is, you know, a mile and a half away. And couldn't find him, I'm like, come on, you know, he just left here. And I go sit in the parking lot, 10, 15 minutes past, and I see him come walking up. And he kind of startled him. And I'm like, hey Mike, you know, I explained what happened. And real appreciative. So he's like, I'm going to the VA now. I'm like, thank you. That makes me feel good. I know my coaches, and it makes them feel good. And like, I have a great relationship with Don and Terry. We're a good team, we gel together. We kind of have like, we play off each other. It's like having a partner where there's a police officer. You know what they're gonna do, they know what you're gonna do. Sometimes I feel like I'm just like a buffer, like trying to keep people out of the way, just let them do their jobs. All right, I know I'm droning on here, but one last story. I got 2 stories. One last story. So there was a gentleman, he was getting detoxed. His name was Mike. He was getting detoxed by Roseville, Fraser, and East Point like a couple times a week, right? He's homeless. I didn't know where he lived. So we go to another call out Fraser and Gratiot area for another gentleman that Don's trying to get. And we speak to the stepmom of the other gentleman, and the mom says like he hangs out at this bus stop at Fraser and Gratiot. We go to that bus stop, we think we got him. There he is. Nope. It's this guy. And I'm like, oh, Mike. Hey, been looking for you. And it was a little dicey. He was reluctant. We ended up getting in the ambulance. We drove him down. I had to lie to him and say he was going to somewhere he didn't want to go, but whatever. Last I heard he's safe. I haven't read a report where he's detoxed again, so I think that's a positive, that's a success. One other thing, I don't get on the road very much. I don't ever work on the road. So it's a good opportunity for me to get out and interact with the community. It's a positive experience. Even my wife says, she's like, you talk about this a lot, you know? And I'm like, it makes me feel good, you know? I work hard, I read the reports, I try to schedule the visits, so Don can go out and do his job. and Terry can go out and do her job. And when they're succeeding, it makes me feel good. It's just real positive, you know, and QRT's been a real positive. So, and actually we had a lady, we were seeking her for like 4 weeks. Finally, last week, she happened to be walking on the driveway. Alcohol was her issue. She was walking on the driveway, and as we pulled up, and like, is this fate? You know? And I did have to hold a cremated baby, which was weird, but anything to get the job done. Like I said, addiction, you can see my first reaction when I got up here. It's just negative. And this makes me feel good, so.
Thank you so much. That was Officer Dave Lucas Savage from Roseville. And we really appreciate those stories, especially the personal experience that you have. And in general, it just sounds like this is very powerful. I mean, bringing it right to the people's front door, you know, and maybe they wouldn't reach out if you weren't there. So thank you so much. And then last but not least, we're gonna have Officer Kevin Coates from Sterling Heights.
Yeah, that's for last time. I don't know, I think I'm a little overdressed. I'll tell you what, those guys' stories are refreshing. Last time I was asked to speak at a fan event, I lost it. I couldn't even get through half the story. So I kind of learned that I have like this huge raw nerve that I try to stay away from. But anyways, I guess it's part of it too. So I'm Kevin Coates. I've been a police officer for about 14 and a half years or so. And I've been a member of the Comeback Quick Response Team since its inception. We were the pilot police department. So I had a lot of cool experiences as far as ironing out some of the kinks and just kind of make it more of a fluid process with our department. So it was kind of an honor to have other folks come to us and kind of see what how our successes were. And I was asked today to talk about how being a part of the QRT team changed my perception of folks that suffer from addiction. And it was funny, I was talking to my lieutenant before I came in here. I'm like, you know, I gotta be honest, it hasn't changed it one bit. He's like, you can't say that in front of people. I'm like, sorry, it's true. And it's true because of my unique perspective of addiction. Just like you, my brother overdosed and died in heroin. Just like you, I lost it last time I talked about it. And it's kind of sad, but my wife and I, the only thing you can do is laugh about some stuff. But like he said, because in our job, you get kind of a front row seat to the tragedy of the human condition, unfortunately. I mean, there's some really good things too, but you also, nobody calls the police and they're having a good day, right? So I was talking to my wife, I'm like, there's so many people between her and mine and her side of the family that suffer from addiction. It's like, well, what do they want? They want the brother story, the aunt and uncle story, my mom's story, you know? So it's kind of sad that I have a Rolodex of people that I can talk about, which I think that one of the biggest things is, even though my perception hasn't changed, I owe it to the community that I work for. I owe it to the legacy of my brother. I owe it to a lot of these people to educate people I work with. And part of that is the perception of law enforcement when it comes to substance abuse or when it comes to things. Because again, we don't show up when everybody's having a good day, right? So a lot of the folks, their experience with somebody that has addiction or suffers from alcoholism, whatever it is, it's showing up when they made a mistake and having to be the person that takes them to jail for retail fraud or something like that. So it's easy to kind of get jaded. So I owe it to the legacy of my family to kind of take, you know, there's a quote I used before, and it's kind of corny, but it's like, you know, the world's full of good people. If you can't find one, be one. And I find myself in a room a lot of times talking to cops, and like, you know, like, typical, but I think a lot of it's deflection because they can't emotionally handle certain things. So, you know, they act like big tough guys and fake tough guys and stuff like that in our community, right? But the reality is, you have to have perspective. So at the end of the day, we work for you, right? We work for every member of the society. It doesn't matter who they are. And it really, when I was growing up, it was, I don't even know how to put it in words. I was the kid when I showed up to a run, who stared in the corner? That was me. You know, so there was no Hope Not Handcuffs, there was no Narcan. There was nobody that was going to knock on your door after your overdose and said, hey, not only are we going to try to help, you know, your brother or your mother, whoever, but we have somebody here to talk to you. That wasn't the thing, right? That's why this program, it can't fail. It just can't. I'm not going to let it. At least in our community, with what I have, what I can control, it's just not going to happen. I'll do it. I'll come out with my kids and do it for free. I don't care, because it's that important. It cannot fail. So I think the takeaway is, when you're looking at how they asked, you know, what my perception changed. My perception is I have to change everyone else's perception of us and what kind of help that we can offer, because we have the resources. We have a lot of people in this room that would drop everything and help you, but a lot of people don't know that. And I think it's kind of sad, actually. So without QRT, I think that it would kind of be status quo. There would be no relationship with law enforcement in the community. And I think that with this program, I mean, it's imperative. So we had our very first day in QRT, the very first house we went to, batted 100. It was awesome, right? Since then, there's been some ups and downs, as you guys know, but Antonio, I'm not going to say his last name, but we got him to treat Frankie, myself, and the coach at the time. And it was an up and down battle. It's crazy because you get so emotionally invested in other people's story. So I wanted him to succeed probably more than he did at the time. So it was just an up and down roller coaster. Oh, did you hear what Antonio did? He's back in jail. He's back using his grandfather. Would call me on my cell phone, not my department phone. I gave him my cell phone. He would call me crying. I mean, you know, and it affected his family so much that, and before we showed up, let me back up real quick. Before we showed up to the house, we were there locking people up. We were there, you know, get off the street kind of thing. Like they weren't huge fans of the police, right? And now I have this guy calling me. Oh, hold it closer, yeah, okay. So now we have them calling me, calling us to help them. So to see the change from someone's perception is, if I call the police, my grandson's getting locked up, they're gonna kick the door, do whatever, to, no, we're just here to help. Matter of fact, I'm doing it on my day off, right? So Sterling Fest, we have a big festival in the city. Mind you, this was back in, when did we start, 2017? No, 3 years ago, right? Anyways, so fast forward years later, we go to see a Sterling Fest. San Antonio's like, hey, I'm clean, I got a full-time job. I'm making him happy. He's got a kid who's actually in his life now. And he's like, you know, thanks for not giving up on me, because I gave up on myself. And you were still knocking on the door, dragging me out of bed. So I'll tell you what, if you know anybody, especially if they're scared to call law enforcement or anything like that, I promise you, especially with our officers that are trained with the quick response team, I promise you, one conversation, that's out the window. So I appreciate you guys' time. Thank you so much for letting me talk. And again, I couldn't get a little bit more on my support, but I probably didn't be able to talk like last time. All right, thank you guys.
Thank you so much, Officer Kevin Coates from Sterling Heights. Let's give one more round of applause for all the officers who took their time to share with me. I know just listening to their stories is really powerful, and it just lets us see that, you know, they really do care about, you know, people who struggle with substance use disorder, and that they're out there making a difference every day. So now we have an opportunity for people to share a positive experience they had with law enforcement. So if anybody has a story, can you please raise your hand, and you're going to come up here and share for a few minutes. Roger?
Hello everyone, my name is Roger, and I am a grateful recovering addict. I don't think my story is that much different than a lot of them, so I'll share it briefly. So with a buddy of mine who's a full-blown heroin addict, and we were partying one night, and I did a line of his heroin, which ended up being whatever. And the next thing I know, I'm being shaken and woken up with a police officer in my condominium across from the inn. Fortunately, he said to me, "You're not in trouble." And tried to relax a little bit, but I ended up in the hospital for a few hours. But it was the next day that I was in pretty bad shape, you know, in bed, just trying to rest and recuperate, when I got a knock on the door about 2 in the afternoon. And went to the door, and 2 Waterford police officers and 2 young ladies. Well, my heart sunk. Obviously, as an addict who's been in so much trouble because of the use of drugs, I thought I was in big trouble. But within about 30 seconds, they made me feel so comfortable, and it was amazing. They were angels, and they were part of the quick response team. And I invited them in my place, and we sat down and we talked. And through them, I met Don, my peer recovery coach, who I'm extremely grateful for. So that's my story, but what I really feel like I want to do is thank everybody that's involved in these programs and the time that you put into it and the effort. It doesn't go unappreciated by the community. And the other addicts in the room that share their experience, strength, and hope, I thank you for that. That's really all I've got.
Thank you so much, Roger, for sharing your personal story with the quick response team. Does anybody else have a positive story they'd like to share? Dean?
Yeah, I just, my son is 32, and he struggled with addiction off and on from about the time he was 15. And he started off with marijuana, progressed, used other drugs, became addicted to heroin. He stopped using heroin, he was clean for a while. He started drinking alcohol heavily. And one night, my wife and I were downstairs, and he was upstairs in his room. This was like 5 years ago, and it seemed really quiet. So my wife went up to check on him, and he was on his bed, partially, and gasping for air, and just very lethargic. And we both thought he was really drunk because he had been drinking a lot. But we couldn't wake him up. So we called 911. This is before I worked for FAN, before I had access to Naloxone. Called 911. The police came super fast. They came upstairs. They asked, you know, does he use heroin? We both said, well, he used to use it, but he doesn't use it anymore. And they asked, are you sure? I said, well, I'm pretty positive. I think he's really drunk. They said, we're going to give him Naloxone just in case. So they gave him 1 dose of Naloxone and didn't do anything. Gave him a 2nd dose of Naloxone, and it brought him back. It turned out that he had overdosed on heroin. He later told us that he got really drunk and he just wanted to see what it was like one more time. So after the police came and gave him the Naloxone, the EMS showed up about 4 minutes later. The police just happened to beat the EMS there. And the EMS people told my wife and I that if the police if they didn't have Naloxone with them, that it would have been too late when they got there. That's how close it was. So I'm just grateful that the police officers in Grosse Pointe had Naloxone and took it upon themselves to administer it. You know, even though we were convinced that my son was done using heroin. It saved his life, and he's doing well today. And all of you guys here, I appreciate you, the police officers. I'm also the son of an alcoholic, so I know exactly how you felt when you're up here talking. I appreciate everything you do, and everybody should carry Naloxone. And you can get it for free outside before you go home.
Thank you so much, Dean. Tim, would you like to come up and share your experience?
I'm Tim, I'm a recovering addict. Yeah, a couple years ago, I went from pills to heroin, and I got arrested. And I spent a week, got a very bad record. And I got out of jail, and of course, I went down to get more because I was sick. And a buddy had seen me down there, he was working, and he seen me, and he had about 10 years of recovery in at the time. And I didn't know nothing about rehab, FAN, or Hope Not Handcuffs or any of that. He was like, just get into treatment. I'm like, I don't know how to do it. You know, he's like, come on, I'll take you to the police station. You walk in, tell them you're a heroin addict. I'm like, yeah, I'm not buying that. Ain't it? He was like, no, they won't arrest you. And I'm like, yeah, I don't believe you. That's not working. I just got out. That's why we're here, you know. And I know him. I grew up with them. I said, okay, I'll try it. But if they arrest me, you better send money to my commissary account because I'm going to be in there for it. So I go to the police station. I walk up to the front desk at Warren Police Station and tell them, and the guy said, oh, there's an angel right there, go right there. And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute, what? Just walk over there. And the angel got me into treatment that night. And I got a recovery coach that helped me. And I'm still clean today. It was an awesome experience. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Tim. We do have time for a couple more stories if anybody else would like to share one. Chelsea?
Hi guys, it's me again. Much like a lot of, I'm in recovery as well. I just celebrated 2 years sober. Prior to that, I was in and out of active addiction, really in and out of jails for 17 years. So the only clean time I really got was literally behind bars. And much like Tim, I didn't understand recovery. I didn't want to understand recovery. I didn't think that I deserved it at that point in my life. And also much like Tim, I have a very bad record. And I wouldn't have walked into a police station and told them I was in active addiction either. But because of my record and my attitude and my addiction and my lifestyle, I didn't ever have a good relationship with law enforcement. And it not necessarily because of the officers I came into contact with, it was just what I knew. You know, you see an officer, you go the other way. And if they're coming from you, you really go the other way. And again, like because of that, I had some bad experiences that I probably brought on myself. Since being in recovery, I got sober and I went back to an office job and it just wasn't doing it for me. For me, recovery means that it has to be my whole life. I'm just that addict, I'm that guy. I was joking around with my friend earlier, like I can literally be addicted to anything. Like Oreo ice cream, all day, every day. Like that's just me. So when I got sober and realized that like I deserve this chance at life, it had to be my everything. And I was blessed, obviously, to get a job here with FAN and other recovery community organizations. But because of that, and like meeting the officers and what I do now, I do harm reduction with Ari as well. And we've had the blessing of going to different police stations and doing different events like this and meeting the cops one-on-one and talking to them. It helps you realize that they're humans too. I didn't ever give an officer that opportunity. I just seen you in a uniform and thought you were my enemy. So I just want like the officers that came out and like we're vulnerable tonight, and to everybody to know like that makes a difference. It helps people like me that may not be able to look beyond the vest or look beyond the uniform to understand that you're human too. You have families, you have hearts, and that you're out here doing the same work we are, whether you were in addiction or not. And it's important from all angles. It takes every part of a community to make a difference. And again, working for FAN has really opened my eyes to see that every part of it is coming together, and that's amazing. So thank you guys, I appreciate you.
Thank you so much, Chelsea. I feel like after tonight, a lot of us hopefully can see that, the police officers work really hard to help bridge that gap. Does anybody else want to share a story? I see. Judge, Linda? Tyler.
Hi, I'm Tyler. I'm an addict in recovery. Got a lot to say. I just want to express my gratitude for Families Against Narcotics and Hope Not Handcuffs and Rodney and my mother, Erin. This program has saved my life a countless amount of times, and without it, without the great police officers, and, you know, like you were just saying, you see a uniform and I'm going the opposite way, you know, and it's nice to know that I don't have to do that anymore. Like I said, I'm extremely grateful for Hope Not Handcuffs and Families Against Narcotics. I've been in and out of recovery since I was 17 years old. 7 days clean right now. That's through the grace of God, and you know, Families Against Narcotics, like I said, they've saved my life countless amounts of times. Without them, and without my mother, without Rodney, without everybody in here, I would not be alive right now. Like I said, thank you, and I just feel like I owe a thank you to everybody in this room. So thank you guys.
Thank you so much, Tyler. We share that love for your mother as well. We do have time for a couple more stories. Crystal, did you have a story? I know Crystal's a big advocate for FAN because she received a scholarship for sober living in the beginning of her recovery.
Hi, my name is Crystal and I'm an addict. In 2020, I was in recovery, living in a three-quarter house. 2019, September 2019. As the pandemic hit in March of 2020, they were shutting down the state. And I had about 8 months, and my ego and my pride said I could go home and take care of my mother, who had medical issues, but I still hadn't addressed a lot of my addictive personality things. But I was involved with this 12-step program in FAN. But my insides wouldn't allow my outsides to say, no, you can't go. So, of course, my ego and my pride took over, and I went home. Anyway, they shut the state down. I got home, positive for COVID. My mother's positive for COVID. I ended up having to take her to the hospital. So I'm in the house alone now with no support, nobody. And, of course, my addiction starts talking to me. And, of course, I relapsed. I relapsed for about 10 days. And my family finds out because they tracked the car, because it wasn't in the garage where it was supposed to be. So they came and got the keys, and now I'm stranded with no wheels. I didn't have a car, I didn't have a job. And I ended up in a motel room. And I remember being involved in recovery prior to my relapse with Families Against Narcotics, and I called Hope Not Handcuffs. And I got Pam on the line in May of 2020, in the middle of the pandemic, where there was no rooms and no beds in treatment centers. She talked to me for hours that night. She kept in touch with me over the next couple of days. The woman who owned the three-quarter house reached out to me, sent a Uber to pick me up, set me up at a three-quarter house for 4 days until treatment became available. I contacted Pam again, and through Hope Not Handcuffs, they gave me a ride to treatment. And Pam and I have been connected from the hip since that day in 2020. And she's my forever friend, and so is Family.
Thank you, Crystal. We have time for one more story if anybody would like to share. Don? Hold on, then you. Don, then you. We'll do two more.
Don Gennard again, loudmouth. It's such a privilege to be part of an organization witnessing the rebranding, and that's what I call the police. Because the first reaction we get when we walk up the door is total back off. We had a guy climb out the window. And I also get the privilege to work for Waterford, almost as good as Roseville. And we had an incident today, and I really thought it was important to bring up. We're out of the team, we're doing the work. So one of our trained Waterford policemen saw a guy walking down the street that he recognized from a QRT visit. And you could tell he was hurting. This is 11 o'clock at night. Picked him up, took him back to the police station. The guy wasn't thinking, he just needed some help. And one of our peer recovery coaches named James got out of bed, went to the police station, and got him help and got him into rehab. That's the miracle. And that's what we're talking about. And if he hadn't been trained by us, Officer Cabano was his name, he would have never stopped. He would have just kept on going, right? Thank you. It's a privilege.
Thank you, Don. We're going to have one more. Sean's going to share, and then we'll wrap it up.
Hi, guys. My name's Sean. This ain't about the police, so I don't have a good story yet for that. We'll work on that, though. I just want to talk a little bit about like FAN and how they helped me. There's a group we ain't talking about, Harmless. They saved my life currently this year. I was a heroin addict for 10 years. I've been in and out of the hospital. I had 8 surgeries since October on my neck from shooting heroin in my neck. I was walking down the street and I had a big abscess break, and they were at 8 Mile and Gratiot, so I walked up to them, you know, looking rough. I was probably real rough. I was on the streets for 8 straight days. They seen me, and they said, yeah, they know me, come sit down. They sit down, I was like, look on my neck, they got a medical team right there. They look at my neck, I'll never forget Ariel. Yeah, we gotta get him to the ER right now. There's a 2-inch hole in the back of my neck, right? So they get me, within like 20 minutes, sent out to McLaren, which was great. They're great resources. Then when I was in there, Ariel hits me on Facebook saying, get you a peer coach. It's like, all right, I'll do it to look good. You know, fans sent me out a peer coach. Then this guy comes in, he just looked at like a goof. I was like, shit, I lost. You know what I mean? I was like, I got the worst one. My buddy Scotty B right there is the best friend of my life. Saved my life. I wouldn't be normal without him. If it wasn't for them and FAN, I don't know where I'd be. And then maybe we can make some good stories with the police now. I don't know. Hey, real quick, Linda Davis, thank you for sending me to rehab all them times. It's good to see you all safe. Case number.
All right, guys, thank you so much for coming. If you guys want to do us all a favor and follow us on Facebook, that way you can kind of see what's going on day to day at FAN. And then maybe, you know, text, call, share on Facebook. Let people know that we do these FAN forums on the 3rd Tuesday of every month. So I hear we're going to have better snacks and food coming in the future. So let everybody know. Thank you again so much, guys.